With the eyes of the world watching, the nuclear-contaminated waters of the Fukushima Daiichi power plant were released into the Pacific Ocean, near the earthquake and tsunami-hit area in East Japan, starting back in August. Tokyo Electric Power Company Holdings, or TEPCO, held 3 rounds from August 24th, discharging 7,800 tons of contaminated water each time. The 4th round, planned for early 2024, will bring the total amount to more than 31,000 tons. Voices of concern have been loud, both inside and outside Japan, with Japanese fishing groups fearing it could further damage the reputation of their seafood.
If there are consequences, they are not going to affect my generation, but those to be born in the future. That's what I'm most worried about.
They release the polluted water into the sea, ignoring the voices of their citizens. This is something that they should never do.
Opposition voices have also emerged in neighboring countries, especially China and South Korea.
Japan's unilateral decision to discharge the nuclear-contaminated water into the sea is an extremely selfish and irresponsible act. Such an act will cause unpredictable damage and harm to the global marine environment and further exacerbate the safety risks of Japanese food. China will resort to all necessary measures to safeguard food safety and public health.
Currently, more than 1.3 million tons of radioactive wastewater is stored in about 1,000 tanks at the plant. It's been accumulating since 2011, and the number is still growing at about 140 tons a day. Despite the criticism, Tokyo maintains discharging the nuclear-contaminated water is safe and says it is monitoring for tritium levels in fish and the ocean, a radionuclide that cannot be removed from treated water.
We've measured tritium concentrations in the collected samples. The results of these measurements have come in, and we've confirmed that the analysed values are almost the same as our calculated concentrations, and that the analysed values are below 1,500 becquerels per litre.
But local people warn TEPCO has a trust issue with the Japanese public, and questions remain.
It is difficult to know what is right and what is not. I have been feeling like this ever since the accident at the nuclear power plant. I feel it is difficult to trust information coming out of Tokyo Electric Company.
Accidents at the Fukushima nuclear power plant have further raised international concerns, prompting China's call for a long-term monitoring mechanism. 5 workers were accidentally splashed in October with liquid containing radioactive materials while cleaning at the Fukushima No. 1 nuclear power plant. A similar accident happened again in November this year.
With more Fukushima nuclear-contaminated water being dumped into the sea, it has become all the more urgent to put in place an international monitoring arrangement that will remain effective over the long run with the substantive participation of all stakeholders.
China says Japan's plan to discharge the nuclear-contaminated water will last 3 decades with huge risks and hidden dangers. It says actions from Tokyo should only be undertaken with significant participants of all parties and with long-term and effective international monitoring to protect the marine environment and human health. Cao Bing, CGTN.